Hello, everyone. My name is Anil Chidik. I'm one of the co-founders of UrbanStat. I'm really excited about Friday because it's my first day of staycation here in Chicago, and I hope you guys also have a great weekend this weekend. So today, I wanted to show you how you can manage moratoriums using UrbanStat. So I will specifically focus on California area and wildfires because right now, California is going through wildfire season. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in a couple map layers to see if there are some areas in California that we need to be careful with. So the first layer that I'm going to bring in is our hazard threats for moratorium. This will immediately show us the areas that has certain problems. So right now in California, the areas that are colored as brown represents the areas that has severe drought, and red areas are representing excessive heat. So right now, just with one look, I actually know that in Northern California, we might have some wildfire risk. But this by itself is not enough. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to bring in our California wildfire risk map. So this specific map has been implemented within UrbanStat internally. We use latest machine learning algorithms and over 30 different variables to create this map. And it's been extremely successful at identifying very high risk areas. So when I overlay these two different layers, I immediately see that here in this specific area, we both have severe drought, and it also, looks like that it's a high risk area. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to check my exposure in this, high risk area. So I will draw a polygon since we're in exposure trend analysis module. I'll draw a polygon, around this specific high risk area. And I'll ask the system to, calculate my exposure for specific products. I'm, as the underwriting manager for personal lines, I'm just going to look at, personal lines products. So I'll click run, and the system will pull all policies that are active today, and it will calculate the exposure based on their products. So now I see that I have about $10 million in exposure in this specific area. And if I want to look at individual policies or claims, I can download those records, and the system will create an Excel file for me. But right now, I'm focused on creating a new underwriting moratorium for this specific area. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to jump to a module called authorization regions. And the platform remembers, where I was looking at in the United States. So I don't have to find this area again, it remembers. So the next step is creating an underwriting moratorium on the intersection of high risk area and maybe, a severe drought. And it looks like, the entire area is actually going through severe drought. So I'm just going to turn that off. So I click this plus button here and start drawing a polygon around this area again. And in near future, we're going to implement a functionality which will allow you to transfer polygons from one module to another module. But right now, I need to draw this again. So now I can go ahead and start setting the parameters for this, this specific moratorium. So the first thing I do is I tell the system that this moratorium is going to be valid for certain products. And I will select, our personal line products here. And what I need to do next is to figure out if what type of moratorium I'm going to set up for the specific region. So I can say a couple different things, but right now I'm going to say headquarter approval and also exposure limit approval. And for exposure limits, since we already know how much exposure we have here, and we are aware of our reinsurance agreements, I'm going to set up a $15 million in exposure limit. And then I need to decide when this rule is going to start to be effective, which is today. And I don't want this rule to stay active for forever, so I'm going to select the end of month as expiration date. And as I click active here, the system asks me why I'm making this decision. So I can basically explain the reasoning behind this decision. Latest available information suggests that this area may experience wildfire events in near future. I'll click save. Yes, I'll click yes here. And the last thing I need to do is I just need to name this row. Northern California high risk area for wildfires. So I'm actually ready to go ahead and click save. So as soon as I click save, what happens is, since we have the integrations with the sales systems of the insurance company, the next customer, whether it's a new business or renewal, comes either from that polygon, is going to be treated differently. First thing that's going to happen is we're going to check the exposure in real time and decide if you're under $50 million or above $50 million. And if the exposure is over $15 million, our APIs will let your systems know that we don't want to accept new customers from this area. But if it is below, the exposure limit, what's going to happen is we're going to, tell your systems that these customers need to be approved by underwriters in the headquarters. So I think it's a good idea to show you how you can actually, cancel or suspend this specific moratorium. So what I need to do is I'm going to search for that rule. I'm going to type in wildfire here, and it will list the wildfire related exposure rules. And this is the one, that we have just set up. So I can go ahead and click edit, and I see the polygon on the map. I can go ahead and click edit. And if I want to suspend this, I can, set the status to inactive. But if I want to delete this, I can just go ahead and click the delete button. Uh, Again, the system asks why I'm deleting this for record taking purposes. So I can say this area is no longer under wildfire threat, and click save. And this moratorium is now deleted for our systems. So if we get a new customer, from this area, that rule will not apply to those customers. Sometimes, it gets tricky to manage all of your moratoriums, all of your underwriting guidelines. So what happens with the UrbanStat platform is we actually send a notification, a reminder via an email to you as a creator of those rules if some of those rules are about to expire within the next couple days or 2 weeks, depending on your desire to get those notifications. So this is it. Thank you very much for listening to me, and hopefully you have a great weekend this weekend.